Good evening. The Sydney Swans have suspended 5 star players for the rest of the year, torpedoing their season over a widening sex crimes investigation.
Tonight, 7 News can reveal drugs were found inside the hotel room where a woman was allegedly assaulted.
The skipper's face said it all.
Hi mate, how are you today?
Callum Mills knew what was coming today. They all did.
Are you able to give us an update on what they're feeling like in the playing group?
Have you heard anything from your teammates?
No comment, mate.
Have you heard anything about the teammates?
No comment.
Players told first, then the public at 10 a.m. Isaac Heaney, Chad Warner, Riley Bice, James Jordan and Nick Blakey suspended. Their season gone, so too the team's finals chances.
To say we're disappointed is an understatement.
Clearly this is a very sad day for us and for everybody involved.
We're deeply embarrassed and ashamed.
I want to offer an apology, a sincere apology.
Saying they wanted to set the example.
To effectively torpedo our season by making a decision such as this. It just tells you how seriously we're taking it.
Citing concerns for players, partners, fans and sponsors.
What about the women at the centre of this?
We're deeply concerned about their welfare and the well-being of those women. We offer as much support as we can.
As the news was breaking this morning, the rest of the playing squad was pushing through, dressed and headed for training.
As we can see the players leaving there, Rezo.
Yeah, they've just walked out now, going to training across the road here at Moore Park and Driver Avenue.
Questions on whether the 5 would ever be welcomed back.
What are you feeling about having to lose those players?
Just refer to the club statement. I've got nothing to say.
Nothing at all.
From management,
We're not abandoning our players. We are supporting our players through this.
They're extremely remorseful for their actions.
So many questions answered, but still saying they're unable to reveal exactly what did take place in that hotel room on Monday. With reports of inappropriate touching and boundaries crossed, it was a boundary that management wouldn't cross today either.
stressing the punishment was just for their behaviour leading up to the alleged incident at Melbourne's Pullman Hotel.
Staying out late, it was drinking, it was bringing women back to the hotel.
Reports the woman at the centre of the sex assault allegations has now made a formal statement to police.
These are extremely disturbing allegations and reports.
A dark day for a club that's committed one of the greatest own goals in history.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Chris Reason, 7 News.
And Chris, the fallout is growing. The first commercial hit came today.
Well, Telstra's announced it stood down Isaac Heaney and Chad Warner as ambassadors from today while the police investigation is ongoing, saying they're deeply concerned. And the Swans have more than 30 corporate sponsors, including QBE and Nike, worth $15 to $20 million a year. The club will be nervous, but saying publicly they are confident they'll continue to stand by them. But there's been a lot of chatter as well today from Swans fans about the historic women's-men's doubleheader this Sunday. Calls for a massive turnout for the women, but a boycott for the men's game.
Chris Reason there. A Beenleigh father who battled cancer has been murdered, allegedly by a couple he'd invited to stay with him. When the housing situation turned sour, he asked them to leave and they refused. Last night, they locked him out, then police say stabbed him to death.
Andy Murray opened his home to people in need and paid for it with his life.
What was obviously the loss of a well-liked and respected neighbour.
The 66-year-old was assaulted and stabbed yesterday afternoon, allegedly by a friend and her former partner who had been staying with him.
Recently, the 66-year-old had asked for these people to vacate his premises and they had refused. Things escalated last night.
Police say when Andy returned from work, he was locked out. After forcing his way in, he was attacked.
I could see Andy laying on the floor in a pool of blood with multiple stab wounds to his lungs, his back and everything.
Neighbours came to help, one of them wrestling a knife from the woman.
She struck out at that neighbour with the knife, narrowly missing him.
Others prevented the man from escaping.
Someone said that he's trying to do a runner at the back door. So me, my friend and another dude have gone to the back door to make sure he hasn't come out.
When police officers arrived, they tried to perform CPR, but Andy's wounds were too severe and he died at the scene. He'd been battling prostate cancer and was planning to travel with his dog, who was his best mate.
He would help anyone. He'll take the shirt off his back to give to anyone.
47-year-old Lindsay James Cohen and 43-year-old Gillian Francis were charged with murder. Both are behind bars, accused of cutting short the life of a man who was trying to make theirs better. Jade Richards, 7 News.
Australians living with a disability say they've been left behind with monumental cuts to NDIS funding. The Federal Health Minister has taken aim at Queensland, the only state yet to sign up to a replacement program for young kids.
Sweeping NDIS reforms sweep through Parliament.
I think the ayes have it.
Slashing $35 billion over the next 4 years, the biggest cuts to a social program ever.
They're hard reforms, and I know that they are causing anxiety in some parts of the community.
Anxiety felt by Jared Sandel-Hay, who says 10 years of NDIS support for his cerebral palsy has allowed him to work and do life.
They have heard our fears, and now they're about to be realised.
His support for social and community outings will be halved.
We know that people with disabilities are isolated already. This will just further isolate them.
Around 240,000 people will be removed from the scheme by 2031, 140,000 of them children with autism.
The NDIS is a cherished institution.
But its cost was blowing out towards $100 billion a year within a decade.
Going too big was costing far too much.
The children being pushed off the NDIS are to go on to state-based Thriving Kids programs from October. The problem? Many of those programs don't yet exist.
The Thriving Kids program has been a debacle from the beginning.
The Coalition backed the cuts, but
I'd call on the Minister to provide detail to the states and territories about what he actually is intending here.
Queensland is the only state refusing to sign on.
It can't be about duck shoving it to another level of government. It's got to be open and honest.
Tamworth mother Sophie Bailey is honestly worried. Her 8-year-old son Oliver, living with brain damage from constant epileptic fits, has been reassessed. All his support withdrawn.
They're attacking the people who the system was designed for.
Little people worried by big cuts.
And Mark, new figures show that real wages went backwards in the past year.
Yeah, 0.6% behind inflation according to official figures today, Max, and that does mean workers' wages have gone backwards in real terms. Not because wages are too low, says the government, but because inflation remains too high. But the resilience of the Australian labour market has been a surprise during this cost of living crunch, and tomorrow we'll get the latest unemployment figures to see whether that is holding up. Max.
Mark Riley in Canberra. The CFMEU inquiry has been told Comanchero's bikies were plotting to infiltrate Queensland's construction industry. Intelligence agencies reported the gang set up labour hire companies and planted union delegates on Victorian worksites. And bikies allegedly travelled to Queensland to put the same plan into action here.
That intelligence was not union specific, it wasn't site specific, it wasn't contractor specific.
It follows allegations yesterday a Comanchero threatened to burn a Centenary Bridge worker's house down and kill his children. Mushroom cook killer Erin Patterson has returned to court fighting to have her convictions quashed, laying out multiple reasons why.
Her defence claims some of the evidence was unfair and the accommodation arrangements for the jury were, quote, catastrophic.
364 days after Erin Patterson was handed a life sentence, the triple murderer was back in court, wearing a royal blue tracksuit and black-framed glasses. She wants her conviction quashed. The killer cook was on a video link from her maximum security prison and at times took notes for the first of her 2-day appeal hearing. It's before 3 judges with the world watching. Sole survivor of her murderous meal, Ian Wilkinson, had a front row seat as the case that captivated the country entered a new chapter.